Welcome to our Student Business and Innovation event as part of the UNIfy Festival, aiming to evoke discussion, inspire ideas and celebrate Bradford. My name is Zoya and I'm a final year computer science student, and I will be facilitating today's event alongside Anna. Before I introduce our first panelist, how did this event come about? As you may or may not know, Bradford was named in the top 20 best places for business by the Sunday Times. Bradford was listed as 15th for its £10.1 billion economy, and the Sunday Times commended Bradford's young population for its success. The University of Bradford has also awarded small business charter status for supporting local businesses and creating employment opportunities for students. Growing up, I have always been surrounded by businesses, from family members to friends to local startups down the road, and I have a great interest to set one up in the future, as well as a future career in business analytics. I believe in the potential and the growth of Bradford, and I believe we, the young population, can add to the success, and that's how this event came about. So with this all said and done, today we will be showcasing businesses founded by students living in Bradford. So we will explore the journey of setting up a business as a student and provide insight to the obstacles faced, as well as their hopes for Bradford's business community. So let's move to our first panelist. We have Professor Sankar Sivaraja, who is the head of School of Management here at the University of Bradford. He will be giving us an insight into the role of universities that universities play in supporting young entrepreneurs. So over to Sankar. Thank you.
Thank you, Zoya. And thank you for all taking the time out and joining us today. It's an amazing sort of, I think the spirit of Bradford, I call it, the UNIfy Festival, to bring in the local communities, students, our partners that we work with, to join us in this event on the student business innovation. As Zoya did mention, what I'm more honored actually is being part of this event is that it's actually student-led. So it's not, I'm only going to do a 5-minute sort of introduction about what the role of the universities are going to be. And I think it'll be useful to hear from the students themselves who are leading from the front, rather than me saying more things about what the actual sort of the support the universities can do. But I do want to emphasize the role that we can play as one of the partners in their sort of successful business journey. So very much, I think I'm going to focus on the next slide, Anna, where you have actually looking at Bradford as a place. A good thing about Bradford being Bradford for business is it really does have a powerful culture of entrepreneurship compared to other cities. Like so I did mention, we're surrounded with sort of the families and members who really come with a mindset, and there's nothing more to nurture and build that foundation. Our next step really as a city is nurture those ideas and make it a more thriving environment. And Bradford as a city really does have that I would say the upper leap on that front in terms of having a culture of entrepreneurship. And as a university being sent off it, we have a absolutely fundamental role to play on it. And the diverse in the young city even makes it more prominent. And that's what I go back to what Zoya, Aisha's and Mavisha's journey is going to be, because students, the young population are leading from the front and helping to build that budding startup ecosystem that we can provide. And what the university has to play for that, and I think to be from that front leading our students to that journey, I think those are the few things that I really want to focus on the next 5 minutes I have. So, Anna, if you do focus on the next slide, I think I want to really highlight 3 things that universities, not University of Bradford as a whole at what we do, but also the surrounding universities as an ecosystem, what we can do to our civic commitment, I call it, to the entrepreneurial journey that we need to provide to support the student entrepreneurs, the student business journey that they do want to focus on. And the 3 things that I want to really emphasize are on place, programs, and partnerships. And what do I mean by that? I think the place, let's start off with place. Like I said, we are in a city that is thriving of entrepreneurial mindset and the culture. And as a university, we also want to provide that safe environment for entrepreneurs and future business leaders to test and nurture the new ideas that they want to really build on. And as an entrepreneur, you are usually coming up with the mindset of a risk taker, having the perseverance to follow up the journeys. But ultimately, you're going to create a new business idea that really does have a role to play in the society and sustain that business idea. And that is an entrepreneur. And to do that, you really need to have a place, and that's the city, universities, the other NGO communication, the communities that really does build that, and to create that safe environment that we can play a role in providing that platform, I would say is quite an important piece. And as a University of Bradford, we do provide that, and equally other surrounding universities do play a role in that to create that safe environment to test new ideas and nurture that student idea startups. The next one, which I really do want to focus on, is around the programs itself. Now, we have a structured set of programs that we can offer, but it's also widely thinking about all of our education curriculum that really does create that entrepreneurial mindset or nurture that business idea thinking, be it in life sciences or healthcare or engineering, but really looking at those focused curriculum, the fundamental curriculum that helps students to really think about new business ideas and that they can really come up with. And you will hear from Aisha and Mahesh, who come from different backgrounds. You don't need to be a business student really to come up with a new idea. It's to really think about the diverse backgrounds that they can come, and as a university to play a part in nurturing the ideas in a structured way. Those programs can help, be it financially funding seed funds of business ideas, but really having that platform again to provide a structured program to nurture that business idea. And finally, the last third P I would really want to emphasize is on creating the partnerships, providing access like the small business charter, working with the government, the local businesses, and providing that access to key stakeholders as part of the student business journey is quite an important piece. And that is something that, again, as a university's role, we need to look at how we provide that, and not just the University of Bradford as a whole, but the ecosystem around the Yorkshire region, to look at how universities can really help provide that partnership access and building that community that could help our students to really thrive and nurture their business ideas. So my let's say message for universities as a whole, and to provide that students an opportunity to build that student business journey, is to really focus on the place, programs and partnerships. And that would help, again, help businesses, student, young entrepreneurs to really succeed. And I think that is my real message of what our commitment should be to entrepreneurial ventures and business ideas. And I think the journey that Aisha and Zoya and Mahesh will really reflect on is how universities play a role, how their platforms in terms of the family and commitment have helped them, but reflect on the journey and how they have been able to share some of their own experiences to be in a position where they are now. So I think that's from myself, and I think that's my representation from a University of Bradford as a standing point. But I would like to now hand it over to Zoya to introduce our student business startup owners as well.
Thank you very much, Sankar, for that insight, especially to do with the roles that universities play in catapulting our student businesses and getting them where they want to be, especially as you'll see with my conversation with Mevish and Aisha. You'll see that universities do play a part, and you don't need to be a business student to create a business. So now on to our discussion with our two student business owners. We have Aisha Mahmood. She is the owner of Frosted Sugar & Co. And we have Mevish Iqbal, owner of Aesthetics by M. So just to start off with, guys, can you tell me who you are, what you're studying, and just a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I can go first. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, hi guys. My name's Aisha Mahmood and I'm studying aeronautical and aerospace engineering. And my business, as Zoya said, is Frosted Sugar & Co. It's basically a custom sugar cookie business. So For example, if you wanted to order cookies that look like your house or look like some flowers, I could recreate that and basically just send it to someone or send it to you, and you basically have some biscuits. So that's my business. Just a bit about it is it basically started not long ago, just under a year ago. And it just started from, honestly, my creativity and a creative outlet for me. I thought, you know, I'm baking all the time. I have this passion for baking. Why not just turn it into something? And here we are just under a year later. And yeah, that's basically how it started.
Thank you, Aisha and Mevish. Same for you, a bit about yourself, what you're studying, and what is your business?
Hi everyone, I'm Mevish. I'm the owner of Aesthetics by M. I'm actually a pharmacy student too at this university. So I'm a qualified esthetician, and I provide professional skin treatments. So like dermaplaning, medical grade microneedling, advanced chemical peels. And I've also just recently trained in some knee treatments, which I'm so excited about. And I'll be actually performing next month. And I also give skin consultations and advice to my clients, and I offer medical grade home care. So I guess it all really started maybe I'd say 5-6 years ago. I I've always been really passionate about skincare, and I used to get a lot of compliments on my skin. And I used to have people ask me, you know, what's your skincare routine? But at that point, it wasn't as advanced as it is now. It was just, you know, kind of the basics. But I did have really good skin at that point. I mean, I still do, but I did used to have really good skin at that point. So I used to get a lot of compliments. But I used to constantly kind of research and educate myself on skincare, not for any particular reason, but just because I was actually really interested in it. And I used to attend webinars and kind of, you know, do my own research behind the scenes. And then I started noticing in my community, so I'm from Bradford, so in my community and my circle of friends, you know, females were actually struggling with acne and pigmentation, and especially females with skin of colour. So, you know, it's really hard to target skin of colour females, well, skin of colour, anybody really, because there's specific ingredients that you can't use, specific treatments that you can't do. So I started noticing that, you know, there were lack of services in my area, and there were not really any services for people to actually go and get the kind of skin conditions targeted and treated, because there weren't any services like that, like the ones I'm providing now. And these opportunities were only really available down south. So, you know, that was something that we actually needed up here in the north, and I wanted to help people. And I do like helping people. That's one of the main reasons I actually chose pharmacy. But I understand, you know, especially with acne, you know, you can feel quite stigmatized by the skin condition, and you know, it's not just about affecting you physically, but it can also affect you mentally. So it can affect your self-esteem and your confidence. So that was one of the main reasons why I decided to actually come and start Aesthetics by M. And I'm really glad I did, because I know I'm helping a lot of people. And you know, people that can't actually travel out to see me and get skin treatments, they can actually, you know, contact me, and I can help them online, you know, kind of give them skin consultations and advice about their skin, and offer them products that I stock. So I stock medical grade products that only kind of they're regulated, so that means they can only be stocked by medical professionals. And I'm actually a qualified pharmacy technician. So I have been working in pharmacy for quite a number of years now, so I do have a lot of experience in that area too. So I manage my business, and I only work part-time actually, because I study pharmacy full-time, and I'm actually reopening tomorrow for the first time, which I'm really excited about. And I do manage my own social media, kind of creating content, and you know, replying to DMs and giving advice. And I sell skincare products, like I mentioned earlier. And I do study full time, so it is a lot of responsibility, kind of, you know, managing your business, but also studying pharmacy. It's not an easy subject either. And I do make sure I'm updating my knowledge and training behind the scenes. So just like in pharmacy, you know, you need to constantly update your knowledge, and, you know, continuously train and show that you're actually doing that. I do the same in Aesthetics by M. So essentially my business and my pharmacy career are very closely interlinked. You know, I'm always kind of talking about contraindications and kind of, you know, skin conditions and mechanism of action of, you know, different drugs and skin ingredients. So it's very closely interlinked, which I think is really good, because I love them both. And I also work as a student ambassador for the university. So I do have a lot going on. I have a lot on my plate, but I really enjoy it. And I have been open for nearly 1.5 years now, but most of that has actually been in lockdown. So it has been quite a difficult journey. And I have actually been nominated for 2 awards. So last year I was nominated for Best New Business of the Year, but the awards ceremony got rescheduled to this year. So I am excited for that. And I recently was actually nominated for Esthetician of the Year. So that's amazing.
Thank you to both of you. So very two different businesses there. We have with Mevish, very aesthetics based business, as it is called, Aesthetics by M. And as you can see, not a business background, with Aisha studying aeronautical engineering and Mevish studying pharmacy. It was all about their passion. Aisha had a passion for creativity and channeled that into a business for really amazing cookies. The links have been put in the chat. Check both businesses out. And Mevish's passion to look after other people in the community, and it really reflects your degree as well. We will talk a bit about how COVID has affected you both in a bit, but just a bit more about your journey in terms of how it was setting up your business or leading up to your business. Kind of what was the journey to set up the actual business? I guess you both have very different routes, like Mevish needing clinical equipment and things like that, Aisha other researching ingredients and things like that. And what has your journey been like so far? And then afterwards we'll look a bit into COVID and how that's affected you. So Aisha, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So how my business started, it was not easy at all. As I said, my business did start in the first lockdown, and I don't know if anyone remembers, but when the supermarkets were like, the flour shelves were empty and you couldn't get any baking ingredients. So that's when I started my my business. So it was definitely a lot of practice. You have to perfect what you're selling, the service or the product. And it was a lot of trial and error, going back and forth, because my family and friends enjoyed it, but I didn't know if, people that I didn't know would enjoy it. So I had to really perfect that. It was buying a lot of ingredients and, a lot of different packaging. So trial and error was a huge thing for me in the beginning. And also just, I feel like it was just trying to get yourself out there in the beginning. Obviously, it has been a huge journey throughout the lockdown to try and get yourself out there. I feel like if you establish yourself before, people will get used to it. But, with people so far away, they haven't tried something before, it's sort of like a leap. So I feel like it was very difficult in the beginning, but you sort of get used to it. You know what risks, you can basically anticipate the risks, I guess. So I guess that's it.
Thank you, Aisha. And Mevish, same to you, just a bit about your journey leading up and how you set up your business and your journey so far, which you have touched on, but just leading up to setting up your business.
So I guess, like I mentioned, it was all about, helping the people in my community. But it was really hard at the beginning to actually get clients because, at that point, I just started before COVID started. So it wasn't that long before COVID actually. But obviously I didn't know that was going to happen. So I did rely on social media, especially Instagram. And I was trying to build up my following, but it was really hard. And because, at the beginning, you might not get the results that you were expecting to get. And sometimes you do expect an overnight miracle, which I did expect at the beginning, and I didn't get that. So I was thinking of giving up, but I was like, no, because I was helping a few people at that time. So I actually, in my first week, I did get a client literally the first week, which was actually amazing because I know a lot of people struggle quite a bit to get clients. So I did get a client the first week, but it was really hard and had to make sure that I was keeping on top of, kind of the industry advances and everything that was going on in the industry and, kind of different treatments that were coming about, different skin conditions. So I had to make sure I was on top of everything, as well as, studying pharmacy on the side. So it was something that was a bit difficult at the time. And again, skin treatments, especially medical grade, they're not easy and they're not cheap either. They are quite expensive. So I did work as a pharmacy technician for a number of years in a pharmacy. So I did, kind of build up what I needed to actually have, and then kind of spend that on my business. And it has kind of flourished quite a bit, which is amazing. But at the beginning, it was really hard for me, and I'm kind of glad I didn't give up, because where I am now, I'm really happy with it.
Thank you, Mevish. Just hearing about, how you guys have set up your businesses, what have kind of been your highlights and your challenges as well? And those challenges can include how COVID has affected you and your business. So how did it maybe affect you personally, and how did it affect your business? And any other challenges you've had, as well as highs as well, highlights and things like that. So Aisha, to you first.
Yeah, so there have been a lot of challenges and highlights as well. I'll touch on the highlights first. So definitely the creative freedom I can have with my orders and with my business, that is definitely a highlight. As more orders come, I am more confident, and I know I can take on an order which someone can just say, okay, I want a football cookie, and I can fully explode and just, unload all my creativity on that. That is definitely a highlight. Another one is customer reviews and feedback. I definitely appreciate all the feedback, whether it's negative or anything, because I know I can take that on. So that's something that's very important, and yeah, it's been really good. I do want to touch on COVID. Although COVID has been very bad in a way with businesses, it sort of started my business. That's where my business started from. I do believe my business started because people wanted to send gifts. I don't know if you guys remember, but everyone wanted to send, baked goods or just gifts to their loved ones to show appreciation and just to get through the hard times. And I do believe that's where I was like, okay, this is, something I can fill in the gap and be like, okay, I can do this. So that definitely was a highlight in terms of COVID. The challenges are balancing uni and the business definitely is difficult. I know my degree and my business are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's hard to juggle that and balance that. Also, I would say the motivation when there aren't any orders, because one day you will have no orders, another day you'll have 10 customers asking. So when there aren't any orders, I do feel like, I always think, should I keep going? Should I keep trying? And I do, but, it's always a thought that I have, and that kind of is a challenge to push through, but, I do push through it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Aisha. That's just it's a great insight there, that COVID can have a good effect as well. I know it's had a bad effect on the whole world, but there are pockets of happiness there, here and there. And, I have seen as well that confectionery and kind of food and baked good businesses have really boomed. And look, even till now, where, we're just coming out of lockdown 3 and people are still buying into all these different foods. So Mevish, same question to you, kind of your highlights and your challenges, including COVID, if it's affected you and your business.
So I guess my highlights would be a lot of people actually come to me and see me as the expert in the industry. So I do get a lot of people asking me, I've been here and I've been there, but I've seen your work, it looks really good. Can you help me with this? And I make sure, I always take time out to reply and give detailed replies. So I do take a bit of time to reply, but I give the detailed reply. And a lot of people are really happy with that. So I am seen as an expert in the industry. And a lot of the kind of estheticians actually come to me for help as well, which is amazing, considering where I was a year ago and where I am now. So that's amazing. And like Aisha mentioned as well, feedback and kind of reviews that people give is really important, and it actually makes you feel really better about yourself. You're doing something good and you're helping people, and that's kind of my main aim. I want to help people. I guess one of the biggest challenge was probably COVID. A lot of people, obviously for myself, most of my work is majority face-to-face, providing skin treatments, and I couldn't do that because of COVID and all these lockdowns that we've had. So we've had 3 lockdowns, and we've had 3 lockdowns, and that's been about 9 months of no work. So that's a really long time. But I have made sure in that time, because I couldn't provide skin treatments, I was available on social media and I was helping people, providing skin consultations and advice and giving them the help that they required. So I was helping them that way. Obviously, I couldn't provide skin treatments, but one of the highlights has been that even though we've been in lockdown, a lot of people have understood that, you know, makeup is not as important as we thought it would be. If we're not going to be wearing it every day, you know, not even in Zoom meetings sometimes. So, you know, people have realized that skin is actually really important, and skin treatments and, you know, taking care of your skin is actually really important. So I have had a big boost now that lockdown is being lifted, and I will be providing treatments again from tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Mevish. Just a bit more on COVID, Mevish, because obviously you were quite affected by it. I just wanted to ask how you kind of handle that, because what I have seen from your growth of business is that you actually adapted to the COVID situation, and you started to offer a different kind of service as part of your business. So you expanded your knowledge, didn't you, on medical skincare, and you started offering a different kind of service as part of Aesthetics by M. So just tell us a bit about that.
So yeah, so obviously because I couldn't do face-to-face treatments, I made sure I went online. I had to adapt to the new situation, and it was really hard. I have to admit, right at the beginning in the first lockdown, I did cry about it. Because it's not easy, and it's not something you ever expect is going to actually happen in your life, but it did. So I had to just get used to it. So what I did was I did work with a few medical grade brands, especially award-winning medical grade brands. So I did do all my research before all this COVID and lockdowns happened. I was researching into different brands that I could work with and provide products to my clients. So, you know, it's not just about, you know, in-clinic treatments, because, you know, the clients will see their skin most of the time, and I'd only see them for about 1 to 2 hours once a month. So 80% of results come from home care. So I realized that, you know, providing quality skincare products to my client is actually very important as well. So obviously, because we couldn't provide skin treatments in clinic, I made sure I could actually help my clients through lockdown as well. So they weren't, you know, they had the help that they needed, and I was available for them. So I kind of, you know, did skin consultations, gave them advice, and kind of recommended, you know, you should be using this or this, and this is how it will help you. And a lot of people have actually seen quite dramatic results actually in the lockdowns that we've had, especially in this last lockdown. And I'm not just helping people in my community and in Bradford, but people from, you know, all over the UK as well, and internationally. So that's absolutely amazing that I can help you from different parts of the UK and internationally, just sitting at home. So that's amazing. But yeah, it has helped me a lot because you know, because I'm studying pharmacy full time, it does take up a lot of my time, kind of, you know, providing skin consultations and advice. And, you know, social media is basically a full-time job on its own. But yeah, I have been utilizing online platforms that are provided by the medical grade brands, and I did get all the training that I needed. Been making sure I've been attending webinars and educating myself ready for when lockdown opens up. So that was amazing. Yeah.
Thank you, Mevish. So very two different perspectives there of challenges and highlights. It's a great insight to both businesses. Just moving on to kind of the support that you guys received, that might be from your family, your friends, and did you have any partnerships or kind of a network that helped you to grow your business? And you guys have mentioned social media. So what kind of social media platforms do you use, and how has this helped your business? And, you know, what has it meant to have support, family support, friendship support, having a network? So Aisha, if you go to you first.
Yeah, I feel like support from my family and friends has been very inspiring and motivating, because like I said, in times where I wanted to give up, they were the ones who pushed me and said, you know, this is something you should do, this is something you need to do to get your mind off stuff, which is true, I did need to. I did receive a lot, and currently still am receiving a lot of support from friends and family, and now from customers who I've built that loyal customer base where they come back and, you know, they are my support system. They will help promote me. In the beginning, I'm lucky I have a lot of friends who have started their own small businesses in the creative field. So it might be a photographer, an art business, or even an events catering business. I feel like that has really helped me because for an events business, you know, they will promote my business to a client who's wanting biscuits, let's say for an engagement party. So it does help, definitely. I do believe that, you know, having that support does definitely drive your business a lot more forward. In terms of partnerships, honestly, I not really had any partnerships. I think it's basically just started from me and just stemmed from me, from my research, from everything, because it's something I wanted to do, something very personal to me. So I wanted everything to be according to me, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically the support system I've had.
Thank you, Aisha. Yeah, definitely the business community that rallies around you, and it really helps to have friends already who have, you know, businesses. And, you know, I guess from what I know and how I know Aisha as well, you've got quite a creative household as well, you know, with your sister and things like that. So does that help you quite a lot, having a creative outflow?
Yeah, definitely. My sister was the first one to start her art business, and I feel like from looking at her and her saying, you know, she can do it while she's working as an engineer, definitely motivated me. And I was like, okay, she can also support me. So anything that I'm confused about, any risks that I'm anticipating, she's already gone through it before and can help me. So yeah, definitely.
Awesome, thank you very much, Aisha. And same for you, Mevish, kind of what support did you receive setting up your business, and any, like, including family support, friends? You've already mentioned you know, you've got social media, you've used it quite a lot to promote your business using Instagram and YouTube as well that you've got now. So mainly about, you know, the network that you've built and any partnerships that you have.
Yeah, my family has been really supportive. Right at the beginning, especially, obviously, it's really hard at the beginning when you set up your business and you don't really know how you're going to do it, if you're going to get any, you know, clients or customers. But they have been really supportive and really helped me out, and I can practice all my new treatments on them, which is amazing. And right at the beginning, when I started my business, I did have my friends, you know, kind of follow me on social media and kind of direct that message to other people and their followers as well. And they did kind of come to me and help me when I started my first treatment. So when I trained in one of my first treatments, they did come to me and help me so I can actually practice on them before I actually do it on my clients. So yeah, I have had a lot of support from both my family and friends, which is amazing.
Thank you, Mevish. That's lovely to hear. And, you know, business, when it comes to business, you need a community, whether that's within the business community or if that's around you. And I think the university offers that. And this is why business has been so successful in Bradford, because we do have an amazing community and society. And I think everyone can vouch for that. So just moving on, Aisha did mention it earlier, that one of the challenges was balancing business and student life. And I think a question has come in regarding that. How do you guys balance doing business and student life? And I guess you guys have other things going on as well. So yeah, just a bit about that, really.
Yeah, definitely. So it is very difficult for me. I'm in my third year, so I'm currently writing up my dissertation. So as soon as I'll be done with decorating my cookies, I'll just jump to my laptop and just start, you know, writing up my dissertation. For my cookies, it does take approximately 16 hours from baking to packaging, and that's, you know, on a continuous flow. So it does take a lot of time. I just have to reschedule and reorganize my day and make sure, you know, I am committing to those hours. It's a lot of that motivates me, because I'm like, I need to get my work done, but I also need to make these cookies. So it's a good flow that I have, but it definitely is not easy. It's very difficult to balance both of them, but I'm doing it, so it's all right.
Thank you. It's a big testament that, you know, anyone can do this. They can do, you know, have and be both at both ends of the spectrum, be doing engineering or pharmacy and have a business that's creative. Yeah, it's a great testament. And same to you, Mevish. How do you balance business and student life? You did mention as well that you do quite a few other roles within the University of Bradford.
Yeah, so I only work twice a week. So I only work Wednesdays and Sundays. because those were my days off, so I don't have any days off now. But those were my days off, so I use that for my business. But they just for when I'm doing face-to-face treatments, so the whole day I will spend on face-to-face treatments. So I work about 11-12 hour shifts those 2 days, and then the rest of the days I usually focus on uni, and if I have student ambassador work, but I make sure I'm mostly focused on uni, especially now because we have exams coming up. But I do take a few hours in the morning or in the evening just replying to DMs and focusing on social media as well, because social media is quite big for businesses at the moment, especially Instagram. So I don't want to kind of neglect that. I do want to take care of that too, because I know if I just disappear, everyone's just going to unfollow me. So I make sure I take care of that as well. But I am focusing on uni, so it is quite hard balancing both, but you need to make sure you have the right balance. I do have that right now, which is amazing.
That's good to hear from both of you. So just moving on to kind of the future, we have had a few questions regarding this, and hopefully this covers those questions. Where do you guys kind of see yourself in the future in terms of your degrees, and what are your future what are your future ambitions for yourself and your business? So kind of where do you see your business going, and where do you see yourself in terms of your career, and how you're gonna balance both? If you want to do both, just tell us a bit about your future.
So I am graduating next year, hopefully, and I want to definitely become an engineer, get a job in an engineering firm. However, I feel like business is something I definitely am made for and want to go for. Starting a business like Frosted Sugar has definitely solidified the fact that it's something that I can do and I want to do, because before it I was like, okay, 100% engineer, yes, but now I'm like, okay, well, this is something I can balance. I know there will be a point where I won't be able to balance it anymore, and if my business does take off, that will be my priority. In terms of Frosted Sugar, I do want to continue for as long as I can. However, it's not my ultimate goal. I do want to go down the creative route in business. I'm still figuring out my options. So I don't know how long Frosted Sugar will be here. I do want to continue it. Definitely is a creative outlet for me, but I will definitely be going down the creative route in the business side, and hopefully trying to boom that and make an empire, hopefully. But it's really early steps so far, but that's my goal, and my outlook on the business. So yeah.
Thank you, Aisha. And Mevish, same to you. Where do you kind of see yourself in the future in terms of your degree and your business?
Well, I'm hoping to become a good, competent pharmacist, hopefully in hospital. I do prefer hospital. I have been working in community for a number of years, so I'd like to go in hospital. But ever since I started Aesthetics by M, I realized I do really enjoy skin. And obviously in pharmacy, we do skin conditions and, skin ingredients as well. So I do really enjoy that. So maybe in the future, I'm hoping to go down the dermatology route. There's loads of people suffering with skin conditions, so maybe I can help people in both ways. But definitely, I would definitely still work as a pharmacist. I wouldn't kind of like stop that just because I have Aesthetics by M, and I do really enjoy Aesthetics by M, so I wouldn't stop that either. I think it will still be a long-term business. I know I'm helping a lot of people, and I don't want to take that away from them. And I do really enjoy it as well. So I love waking up every day thinking, yes, I can't wait to do this. But yeah, I would definitely keep both, and hopefully get nominated for more awards.
Thank you to you both there with your future plans, and good luck to you both. And yeah, I think definitely a lot of people when they graduate, they think that's their set career plan, but that's not always the case. It's definitely not the case for me. I would love to set up my own business in the future as well. So you guys are very much an inspiration there to have done it whilst you're students. And just moving on to a bit of advice that you can give to our audience. Like, what kind of lessons have you learned so far in your business journey, and what advice would you give to others who are students and want to set up a business? I think we've had some questions come in regarding that, in terms of what kind of advice would you give to people to undertake before starting their own business. So yeah, again, what kind of lessons have you learned, and what advice would you give to others who are students and want to start up a business? So Aisha, if you go to first.
Yeah, I think definitely perfect. I did mention this before, perfect what you are selling, and perfect whether it's a service or a product. You know, you want it to be something where people just come to you because they're the best. You know, I know their product, it's not going to change. So, you know, that's something that is really important. Something else is just go for it. Have your set structure in mind of what your business is going to be. Do anticipate the risks, but don't let it put you off. You definitely need to go for it, because there was a point where I was not going to go for frosted sugar at all, because I thought, you know, no one's gonna buy cookies, it's fine, but there's actually a niche in the market for it. There's a gap in the market, so that's my niche, sorry. Also, I think social media is definitely your best friend. I know we demonize social media a lot. However, it is something that will put your business on to a national level, definitely. It is something that if you are going to create a business, make sure you're posting, like Mevish said, make sure you're interactive. You need to stay on top of it. But definitely just don't give up, because it will get better. And as long as it's something that you know you love and it's your passion, there's someone out there that will also, you know, love it and want to buy it or want to, you know, join that service. So I think, yeah, definitely just go for it.
Thank you, Aisha. And Mevish, same to you. Kind of what lessons have you learned from your business journey, and what advice would you give to others? And specifically, we've had a question regarding this for you. So it's by Anna. Mevish, you mentioned that you've had some training. What training would you advise people undertake before they're starting their own business? So if you could just answer that within that as well.
Well, because I'm a qualified pharmacy technician, I took a different route compared to how other people would actually get in. So some people have to take kind of like a year-long or 2-year-long course in terms of kind of in beauty or level 2 or something like that. I'm not really sure about that route because I didn't take it. But as a pharmacy technician, I took the medical route. And then I just did my training in different treatments as I needed. So that was in terms of my training. In terms of tips for businesses, my first tip would be, you know, do something you're passionate in and something that you would actually love working on. You know, you don't want to be waking up every day thinking, oh no, I have to do this. Like, you want to be waking up thinking, yes, I can't wait to do this. That's how I feel. So you definitely need to have that. Second thing would be ready for anything and be ready to adapt to that situation, just like COVID has taught us. So like Aisha mentioned, you know, we need to be on top of social media, and especially Instagram is one of the biggest platforms for businesses. So definitely make sure you're making use of that, get to know how it is and how it works. It will definitely help you and boost your business. And third, I would say, you know, if you're going to be setting up a business as a student, make sure you can actually handle the responsibility, because, you know, definitely your studies come first. Obviously business is on the side as a student. Your studies definitely come first, and you don't want to, you kind of ruin both, you know, not giving the effort that needs to your studies. So definitely make sure you can handle the responsibility, and if you can't, you can definitely do it later on in life, but, you know, as a student, make sure your studies come first.
Sorry, can I just add on to that? I just also want to say just exactly what Mevish said, like make sure, you know, you're not sacrificing so much for the business compared to your studies, because although I love having so many orders and I'm like, okay, yes, I want to take this on, I want to do a Disneyland themed cookie, I have to stop myself and say, okay, I can't do this because studying comes first. You definitely need to make that distinction and just, you know, put it in your head that studying definitely does come first. So yeah, I just wanted to add that on.
Yeah, I think definitely for me, something that's always deterred me is that I want to put my studies first. And, you know, I think it you know, again, I admire you guys for doing it as students, and I've always you know, done stuff when it comes to in terms of charity where I don't have to, you know, I don't have a paying customer. I'd rather do something where, you know, it's for charity or something like that, and there's not that expectation as well whilst I'm studying. So yeah, thank you guys both for that. And just our final discussion point before we move on to the Q&A, please send your questions in. We've covered most of them through the topics, but the last discussion point I just want to touch on is kind of what is your opinion on the importance of business in Bradford, and you know, with Bradford being named the top in the top 20 places for doing business. What is the importance of business in Bradford, and where do you see, where do you see business taking off in Bradford in the future? So Aisha, if we go to you first.
Yeah, I just want to say, when it comes to me, whenever I think of business, the city I do think of is Bradford. I mean, Bradford is the central hub for businesses. Obviously, I'm going to take it back to history, but like during the Industrial Revolution and throughout history, Bradford has been the #1 city for business. And I think that's just amazing. I feel like it's something we should carry the legacy on with smaller businesses, you know, younger students, everyone just going for business. I think it's really, really important. I do believe that there still needs to be a little bit of change, considering that a lot of businesses are, you know, dominated by males. So it would be empowering and inspiring to see females take on that business role, which is great to see. It's really refreshing. But I think definitely we need to encourage young businesses, just, you know, to be inclusive and creative and just, yeah, put themselves out there, and it will definitely, you know, carry the legacy on which Bradford is known for, which is business.
Amazing, thank you very much, Aisha. And again, same to you, Mevish. Where do you see Bradford and business in the future, and kind of your opinion on the importance of business within Bradford?
Yeah, I agree with Aisha with everything she's just said. But yeah, definitely, I think businesses will boost in the future, just like as they are now. There'll be lots more businesses in the future. Hopefully more people that are females. We need more of those, definitely, and more younger people, like Aisha said as well. You know, we shouldn't be put off by people that are older than us and have businesses. You know, younger people can do the same job as well, maybe even better. But you know, they do have the knowledge and the ability to do so, so why not? You know, don't be put off by what people are doing. You know, if you can do it, you should do it, definitely. But I think, you know, we need more female business owners, definitely.
Thank you, guys. So that wraps up this portion of the event. We'll just take some questions. So I've just been having a look through. We have a question that's, so both of you, whoever wants to go first. How old were both Aisha and Mevish when they started their businesses?
So I'm 22 right now. I started it when I was 21. So yeah, honestly, just under a year ago. Yeah.
Same to you, Mevish?
Yeah, I started maybe just a month, well, about 2 or 3 months before I was 22. I'm 23 now, so it's not been long for me either.
And we have another one. You both seem to work very hard, but do you both enjoy your work?
Yes, definitely. Only because it is creative. It's something that I've loved doing since I was younger, you know, baking cakes. But I feel like biscuits is more my forte, because with cakes, they always go wrong for some reason. I really don't know why. So biscuits definitely is my strong point. Just honestly being creative. I went to school with Zoya. So, you know, like I was always trying to be creative and get into the creative competitions and just trying to do like anything with art. So yeah, definitely something I'm wanting to take forward in the future, and that's what I feel like I will enjoy, which is kind of weird because I also enjoy maths and science, which is why I chose my degree, but I think I do prefer the creative side more.
And yeah, same to you, Mevish.
Yes, I absolutely love my business. Like I said, I love waking up every day thinking, yes, I can't wait to do this. Or, you know, especially on the days where I'm working face to face, providing treatments, I absolutely love it. At the beginning, I was maybe a little bit nervous about it, thinking, oh my God, like these clients are coming in, what are they going to think of me? But now I think, okay, they're probably nervous coming to me thinking, what's she going to think of me? So yeah, I absolutely love my business, and I love helping people as well.
And another question we have is, how much do both of you use marketing and advertising, etc.? So I guess what kind of marketing and advertising you use? You both said you both use social media, but how much do you really use it? Like, how much effort goes into it?
Honestly, it's all the time. Like I'll be getting DMs right now, and so after this I will need to reply. It's honestly constantly on the go. I think marketing is also constantly on the go, because anytime someone posts your cookies or posts your service, you know, you'll repost it. That's sort of like marketing. It's showing, you know, customers are buying my product. And honestly, boomerangs, Instagram posts, anything, it's all marketing and advertisement. Even your name is just, you know, an advertisement when you put it out there. So yeah, it's constantly on the go for me.
And
Yeah, same. I agree with that. It's always like social media is never ending. You'll always have something to reply to. Even on the days I'm off, I come back and I've got like 30 messages and I'm just like, how am I going to reply to this? But yeah, social media and word of mouth is quite strong as well as advertising. So yeah.
Definitely. And keep sending your questions in. Just a bit of a fun question from me, and I think someone did mention, let me quickly find it, saying that both of your kind of presentations are better than what they've seen on Dragon's Den and The Apprentice and that sort of stuff. So I do have a question regarding that. It's quite a fun one. Is do you watch Dragon's Den and The Apprentice? Like, what are your kind of thoughts on that and the people that go on there? And do you guys think you will ever go on one of those shows? So yeah, whoever wants to go first with that one.
I think the show is great. I think it shows a great insight into businesses and whoever wants to start a business and what their, you know, business plan is. I personally would not go on it. I feel like I'd just get declined. No, honestly, I wouldn't go on it because I just feel like my business is really personal. So even if they did say no, I do believe what my business stands for and what people think of my business. And I do believe I can catapult it into something, you know, make it into something big without someone having to say like no or like, yeah, it will. Does that make sense? Like, yeah.
No, definitely.
Definitely, I agree with Ash on that one. But also, it's not something that I would take full time, I don't think, because obviously I think my pharmacy career will be the dominant one. Even though I do enjoy my business and I love it, it will still be on the side. It's not something I would take full time. So if it was, maybe in the future I would consider it. But no, not at the moment.
I think Mevish has just covered the question that's coming from Laura is, would you ever consider gambling between your business and degree if it really started taking off? For example, the owner of Gymshark quit uni and now has £1 billion business by taking that risk. I think you've both covered that, but you can, you know, if it was to take off in such a way that Gymshark has, would you ever consider quitting your day job?
Maybe in the future it is a possibility. I mean, we don't know what could happen. I mean, a year ago I was thinking of quitting, and right now I'm happy with where I am. I definitely can develop more, but yeah, if I do start earning $1 million, then yeah, definitely.
It's all about the money. And same with you, Aisha.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's a huge risk, but it should be a risk you're willing to take, especially if, you know, your business does boom out of nowhere. For what I want to do, obviously, cookies not the long-term plan. It might be something in fashion, it might be something creative, and definitely if that did take off, my initial plan is to keep that up with engineering at the same time, and whenever or if it will ever boom, then, you know, take on, you know, strictly with the business. And I think that's my plan, but definitely I would drop everything for what I love, first and foremost.
Awesome. And then we just have another question. What support have you received from the university towards their business? So Aisha is from University of Leeds and Mevish is from University of Bradford, but you're both living in Bradford. So Mevish, if you want to go first on that one, kind of what support, or if any support you received from University of Bradford. I can remember you actually did an event on freshers, I think it was, or something.
Yeah, so last year January I attended the Freshers Fair as a small business, and I did get a lot of sign-ups, a lot of people, and my business did expand a little bit from there as well, so it was good exposure for my business, but it was a lot of my kind of clientele base as well, so I target mostly females 18 plus, so a lot of that was from uni, which is amazing. And I do get a lot of, even not from Freshers Fair, but I do get a lot of people that come from the University of Bradford to me, which is amazing, even though they haven't seen me around, but I do get a lot of clientele base from there, which is amazing.
I think it helps that Mevish is on quite a lot of our billboards for our University of Bradford campaigns. I think we both are, so I think that helps quite a lot. And then same to you, Aisha. You attended University of Bradford for a year, and then you went to University of Leeds. Kind of, did you get any help from University of Bradford, any inspiration, or do you get any now from University of Leeds?
So I did start my business obviously in lockdown, so I didn't have the opportunity to then go to university or, you know, like what Mevish did, do anything like that. But I'm hoping, or I'm sure, if there are any in the future, to be able to do that, definitely, because I do feel like University of Bradford, first and foremost, are very, very supportive in whatever you want to do, as well as Leeds. But yeah, definitely it would be something that I would ask, and, you know, I feel like they would provide me with the support.
So we're gonna finish there in terms of the questions, and if I could just go to Sankar for some comments, and we'll finish the event there.
Oh, thank you, Zoya, and absolutely amazing to hear your journey, Aisha and my audience. Yeah, we haven't paid anyone anything to say here. They've just been very authentic, and I think it's really refreshing to hear. And I think and that was the purpose of this event, to really showcase some of the young talent and the ability to have. It's not just about programs in itself. And those words were really textbook. If you go back to textbook, you would see the customer base they were talking about, perseverance, marketing, and that's the passion that really does showcase. And every part of that journey does play a role, even in the university life, your family support, the partners that you create, the community. So I think that's to embrace. But I think the sheer commitment, I think, is quite important. The world of business is changing as we speak. So I think being open-minded, adaptable and flexible is quite an important piece. I think using tools to really help you sort of catapult your business ideas, they've done it very cleverly. And I think that is what you really need to reflect back on. Any future business leaders or even current business leaders need to really have that agility, flexibility, using technology to work for you. I think it's quite important. And most important, don't give up. I think the passion really does need to come out. And I think be it whatever the journey that they take in, and that comes from your heart and soul to give back to the community, but also working towards the business aspiration. So well done, kudos to both of you all. And the university is part of that journey, but it is not, and it's the family, the commitment, the community, I think all helps part of it. So I think my final word is the perseverance and passion, keep it going. And thank you for being part of University of Bradford, but being part of the community.
Thank you very much, Sankar. And I'd just finally like to say thank you to all our panelists, Professor Sankar, Aisha from Frosted Sugar & Co, Mevish from Aesthetics by M, and a special thanks to Anna, who has helped me put this event together. And I really do hope this inspires you all to you know, set up a business if you do in the future, and be proud of you know, the success that Bradford has had within businesses, especially highlighting the success that the young people have had within it, and we should be really proud of that fact. So thank you everyone for joining us. There will be a poll at the end. Please don't forget to do that, and have a good day.